And happy Friday, everyone. It is tax day. It is April the 15th, 2011. I surely hope that you have filed your taxes by now, or else somebody might be knocking at your door or filed an extension. But tax day, TGIF to you out there in the audience. We do want to mention our sponsors this week. Brought to you by Peacock, or this day, Friday, brought to you by Peacock Water Conditioning. Their mission is simple. They want you to love their water. 1800 Marion Marysville Road here in Marion, also located in Bucyrus. Call them 387-6312. Also brought to you today by Bubby Man's Games. Buy, sell, trade new and vintage games. 131 West Center Street right here in Marion. Call them 341-7009. Open Tuesday through Saturday, 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. Closed Sunday and Monday. The Ohio Neck and Back Pain Relief Centers, Scott M. Gray, across from Marion Center between TSC and Kroger. Telephone number 386-6580. Scott's also written a great new book, Good Back, Bad Back, and you can get this at all fine bookstores and retailers. And also today brought to you by Night Owl Theater, located on the net at www.fritzlives.com. To receive email updates, contact nightowltv at yahoo.com, and that's NITEOWL TV at yahoo.com. Joined today by Charlie, Marianne, and Fritz. As always, we're going to kick off the program as we do each and every day with This Day in History with Charlie Evers.
Okay, we'll go over to Ireland. Politicians in Northern Ireland reach an agreement aimed at ending a 30-year siege of violence which claimed over 3,400 lives. Under the agreement, Protestants and Catholics in Northern Ireland would govern together in a new 108-member Belfast Assembly, thus ending years of direct rule from London.
There you go. And now, if you don't know what to do tonight, it's Friday night. It's one of the all-time great movie nights. I have a gentleman here who can pick out something to you. It's called The Flick Pick with Fritz the Night Owl. Fritz?
Thank you, Scott. Tonight, probably a movie that is better known than the ones that, better known today than the ones that I talked about earlier. It is a film noir mystery suspense classic called Double Indemnity. Goes back to 1944. It was a 5-star film then. It is a 5-star film now. Believe me, you won't fall asleep during this. It'll hold your interest all the way through on every level. Billy Wilder was the director. 1944 was the year it was made, regarded as one of I think it's regarded as one of the 100 best films ever made. Stars Fred MacMurray, Barbara Stanwyck, Edward G. Robinson, based on a superb novel by mystery writer James M. Cain, who also wrote Mildred Pierce and The Postman Always Rings Twice. Also great movies. It deals with an insurance salesman, Fred MacMurray, who is seduced by a blonde-wigged Barbara Stanwyck. He sells her she buys a policy on her husband, and he tells her about the double indemnity, how she gets twice the money if he accidentally meets his maker, and Fred gets involved in doing the husband in so that Barbara Stanwyck can collect the double indemnity. Edward G. Robinson, usually the bad guy in most movies, is the good guy in this one. It's kind of interesting because MacMurray, who most people remember as the nice father on My Three Sons, had to be convinced to play this role. He's one of the most popular leading men, usually in light comedies or a couple of action-adventure things with Errol Flynn, and did a couple of westerns and so forth. But generally, he was a good guy type, lighthearted, easygoing, and he didn't want to do it because he said, hey, I'm just a saxophone player who gets in these films with Carole Lombard and so forth. This is so against type, but he did it, and he was superb as the villain. The dialogue is crisp and moving. The suspense is terrific. It is film noir at its very, very best. Very easily available on DVD, VHS, Steam, whatever playback system you have. Can't recommend this one highly enough. Double Indemnity, Fred McMurray, Barbara Stanwyck, Edward G. Robinson, 1944, great then, great now, see it tonight.
Fred McMurray, wasn't he also the absent-minded professor?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
And also son of Flubber.
yes,
Flubber.
I loved the absent-minded professor
Oh,
movies.
but he's also, as a villain, he was so terrific in this. And then you see him in the Caine Mutiny, where he
that
is
was a
also
good
the
movie.
conniving guy who kind of gets everything moving so that he cons Van Johnson into thinking that Humphrey Bogart is crazy. Hey, that's a movie for another night.
Well, Van Johnson is one of those guys who could pop up in any movie.
Oh,
A lot of
yes.
people didn't know his name, but he would pop up, and you'd say, "That's Van Johnson."
And he was the All-American boy.
But he was a heartthrob too.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Went on to do a lot of murder she wrote later on in his career.
Oh, did he?
I believe he did.
Okay.
Yeah, and lived to a good old. So did Fred McMurray. Lived to happy old ages, and good for them. We do have a current event this Friday to cap us off this week. Very interesting, I thought. I was reading the paper the other day. More women are embracing their gray hair. Can you believe this? The tide is turning on graying. More than 40% of Americans have some gray hair by the time they turn 40. More women have embraced their silver, white, gray, and salt and pepper locks. Celebrities such as Helen Mirren, Judi Dench, and Jamie Lee Curtis, food maven Paula Deen, author Toni Morrison, and singer Emmylou Harris have different shades of gray and silver in their hair. Marianne, obviously
Case in point.
Well, the only female at the table here, and you have gone gray. Did you ever give any thought to it?
Well, my mother had beautiful white hair, and I really didn't want gray hair. You know, I really didn't. And I used to have it lightened. I was born with brunette hair, and I used to have it lightened and blonde and so forth and so on. And I finally got to the point where I'm tired of putting this dye in my hair. And I asked the girl that does my hair, and I said, Connie, when do you think I'll be able to stop putting this dye in my hair? And she says, well, you're pretty close to it now. And I said, well, let's don't put any more dye. And I'm very happy with my hair. In fact, I have been in places and people I don't even know, men that I don't even know, come up to me and say, oh, my, you have very nice hair, which really surprises me.
Is your husband with you when these men are coming up to you?
No.
No.
But he
So,
wouldn't care.
He wouldn't care.
No.
Now, what age, if you don't mind, did you actually go gray, but you were still using the dyes and so
Oh,
forth?
probably when I was in my 50s, maybe.
And when you decided to stop using the dyes?
In my 60s.
60s. So not too long.
See, I'm giving away my age, aren't I?
Did you ever think about it when you were on television? Were you getting little locks of gray then?
Oh, no, absolutely
No,
not.
that was all natural.
No, I was in TV in the late 80s and early 90s, and no.
It wasn't gray then?
No.
That was natural?
It was blonde.
It was blonde. Charlie, a male, but gray on top.
Yeah, I'm just letting mine go as it,
And it looks
occurs
nice.
naturally.
And it looks nice.
Did you ever give thought to dyeing it?
No. I used to have bushy hair. In fact, let me tell you something. Not many people know this. I've cut my own hair for 37 years.
Really?
Yes.
Why?
And people say, how do you do that?
How do you?
Well, there was once a thing invented called a trim comb. And you used to see it advertised in Popular Mechanics. So this little plastic thing, you put a double-edged razor blade in it, and you can flip it over and shave, or you can thin your hair, or whatever. And that's all I've ever... The only time I had a professional person touch my hair was when I was in a nursing home in cardiac rehab. And they had a policy where they gave away one free haircut.
Oh, they gave you one for free.
They gave me one
They
for free.
said-
I didn't like it as well as mine, of course.
So you still have this, do they make these tools anymore?
No, I've been looking for a trim comb for years to replace it because one part of it broke off, but I still got it.
You still maintain?
Oh, yes.
What age did you go gray?
If I didn't have my trim comb, I don't know what I'd do. I'd be run away from home.
What age did you go gray?
I don't know. It's been the last 10, 12 years, 15.
So,
How old am I? 76? Yeah, it was quite a long time ago.
so it was a long time
Yes.
ago, but no thought to dyeing it.
No.
You know, the interesting thing is my hair has not gone gray yet, but there's little bits and pieces you see gray hairs popping out. But when I was in college, it was a big thing. People were highlighting their hair. Even the guys were highlighting their hair with a little bit of blonde. They called it frosting for
Frosting,
guys.
right.
Frosted your hair. So I did that then, and the one thing I learned was, and a reason I don't think I would ever dye my hair, is because it makes your hair very stiff.
Yes,
And
it
very
does.
prickly and just a mess.
You know, one a pet peeve of mine are men who shave their heads. Do they think they look good? Apparently they do. But
Speak to
Well,
them right out there, Charlie.
Well-
Speak to the men who have
No,
all
I
their
think
hair.
they do that, Charlie,
Yeah.
because they're losing their hair.
well, that could be, and they
That's
just want to
the
get it over
reason.
with.
I don't
Right.
think that's all of them, Mary.
Not all of them, but
But-
a good many of them.
Prior to the Sweet 16 or whatever, those commentators
Oh.
with their bald heads, I don't know.
You don't
Why
like
is
it.
it? No.
You don't like it.
Fritz, what age did you go? Or did you ever give any thought to coloring it?
Well, I wear the hat because I'm bald on top, and quite frankly, my head gets very cold, which gives me a headache. So it's not affectation or bad manners that I got the Count Basie hat on. It's literally, I wear a hat probably most during the waking hours. And you want to know major league pain, be a bald guy or somebody who's thinning and get a sunburn on the top of it.
Oh,
That happened once, and that was when I got the hat. But in air conditioning, the head gets cold and then I get a headache, so I wear the hat. I wish I had enough hair to dye, so it's never been an issue one way or the other.
would you dye it?
If I had enough, I don't really know. It would. I have no big problem against dyeing it if it would knock 10 years off, I'd go, sure.
I think it's interesting in the youth-oriented society that we all live in now that silver hair is coming.
That is. That's very interesting.
Isn't that bizarre?
I think your complexion though has a lot to do
I
with
think
it
it does,
too.
too.
If you've got a pale complexion and you're gray, it's now men don't wear makeup, so I mean it's a thing that gray hair could literally wash out the whole face if you're pale. So again, there are a lot of factors involved in it.
What does one think about
I
toupees?
kind of like the shaved head because I was considering that, but the family just said
You have to have a
no.
certain kind of a head, though.
Yeah, it was great on Telly Savalas.
Yeah.
It
Oh,
was.
yes. And
Yeah.
first of all, if you have a nice shaped head, it's fine.
Right.
But if you have a funny shaped head,
I
it's
think
not
if
so
I was,
good.
if I was a ball player, football
Uh-huh.
or basketball, I think definitely I'd very seriously consider a shaved head.
But
Or
what
like,
about-
or like a wrestler or somebody in
Yeah.
a sport.
I wouldn't want my
Or
hair
a
pulled.
swimmer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what about toupees? What do you think about toupees? Would you wear one? Would you wear one?
No.
No, well, here's the thing.
They're
I
called
think,
rugs.
I think it's what is it, your mother's father that the baldness gene comes from?
No, it's supposed to come from the mother.
Would I wear a toupee? Well, my hair's not thinning, thank
No, it isn't.
goodness.
Uh-uh.
Yeah, but
But you're
you know,
young.
if you
Yeah,
but
you're
if you
young.
want to, well, I don't know. I think. Well, Fritz, what age did you start having hair issues?
Oh, probably when I was in the Army, and I think part of it was wearing that steel pot
Sure.
on the head all of the time. But on my father's side, and my two brothers both have great heads of hair. It's all of my Sicilian ancestors that had
I have Sicilian ancestors.
Sicilian that had the Henry Mancini hairline. That is the hair just around and bald on the top.
So 20s you were in?
I'd say mid-20s.
So I'm past that. So I
Mid-20s, it started, you got the little quarter-sized thing on the back of the head, and it starts to recede at the front, and it goes, and it just keeps working both ways, and all of the next thing you know, you're Henry Mancini.
well, I tell you,
Without the talent.
I'm going to connect. I'm going to connect the dots on this one because Mary Ann brought up the toupee here. If Fritz, you were having hair problems in your 20s, obviously Night Owl Theater was not in your 20s.
No.
So during that run,
Oh, yeah.
you must have worn
Right,
toupee,
hairpiece, sure.
hairpiece.
Oh.
Did you like it?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
It was, again, it kept my head warm, it kept it out of the sun, and the kind I had was done by a great barber, and the guy he said, I'm going to put in about 20% gray in this, so that there's not going to be any line on the side where the thing, and I got the first one, and I picked up my wife at work, and we were in the car maybe 15 minutes, and she looked at me and said, did you get a haircut today? And I said, no, I got the hairpiece. And it was the guy had done such a nice job.
Oh, that's
on it.
wonderful.
And it was literally, you put a little bit of adhesive on the inside liner, and you put it on like a hat, and that was it for the day.
Well, do you believe these ads that say that they'll grow hair, that they'll...
Oh, that can't be real.
No, I don't
That
see how
can't-
you could grow hair after you're a certain age.
That's got to be some of those other ads, that
Yeah,
pills
I
that will
know.
change things that are just ain't going to
I
happen.
can't believe it.
But who believed in heart transplants 20 years
Well,
ago?
that's
Maybe-
Why not?
Did you wear the toupee for television? Was it ever there?
No, I only wore it for television or personal appearances. It was
When
like-
did you drop it?
After I left Channel 10.
I like it better this way, to be honest with
The
you.
hat is...
This is a
with
great
the-
look.
With the
Well,
glasses is
it's-
great.
Whatever works.
Yeah.
But no, it was grand. It was grand for television. Again, it really helped shape the face better, and as I say, it just worked. But and it wasn't difficult. As I say, it was get up in the morning. After you shower, you just put a little of this adhesive on, you put it on, comb it in, and out you go.
Recently, you returned to doing movies at the Grandview Theater in
Right.
Columbus. First time you've been on TV doing that in quite a while.
Right.
Did you ever give thought to putting the toupee back on?
No, I stayed with the hat because, again, I knew a lot of people that were in TV that were bald on the top, and they had to put makeup on there to keep the light from shining on
Yes,
it. And
yeah.
it's like I say, to get TV makeup off is a drag. I never had to wear it on my face, but on a bald head it does shine,
did.
and it's something to consider. So the hat worked out good. The only problem with the hat is I can't find a store that sells them locally. It's, as I said, it's my Count Basie hat. When I saw the Count wearing this, and he always wore it in his album covers, and man, I gotta get me a hat like that.
I'll tell you the unique thing is I've seen some of Fritz's new movies, and nobody prompted me to do this, but my goodness, they're great. They're
Well, I was going
great.
to say, if somebody is watching the show and they like it because I've got hair or not,
That's pretty
Who
bad.
cares? That's
yeah,
right.
If that's the criteria,
Now, that's really bad.
yeah.
But it's strange how many network anchormen, the 6:30, when it was Brokaw, Jennings, and Rather, their hair they would just get salt and pepper, and then all of a sudden it was brown again, or it was dark colored. I just don't like I don't mind dyeing the hair, but I don't like when they use that black finger or that polish.
Yes,
And
yeah.
Somebody, as I say, it depends on who makes it and how you style it.
Right.
Bing Crosby wore one, Frank Sinatra wore one, Humphrey Bogart wore one, and you never knew.
Never
it.
knew.
And it's when you get the kind where it looks like they parted your
rug.
hair with an axe,
There you go.
or you're blonde on the side and you go dark black and you've got this two-tone line like the end of a two-tone Buick or Chevy. It's
Or you sneeze and it looks like a convertible up on the top of your head all of a sudden. There's,
like I say, the guy he said I'm going to put in.
Well, and then
20%
there's
gray.
Donald Trump with his hair.
but that's not a
And that's-
piece.
It's not a
real
piece.
hair,
It's
isn't
real
it?
hair,
It's a
but it
real
looks
hair.
like it. Don't
He
you
makes
think
it look like it's
Why
a
does he
toupee.
do that?
I don't know.
What does he do? Put it in the waffle iron in the morning? He must
I
do
don't know.
something. It's very
This is
strange.
kind of a trademark for the guy.
Yeah, I guess so. So
Do you
go
think
ahead.
he's going to run for president?
It would be fun if he did.
Yes.
Well, this would give the stand-up comedians and the talk
novel.
show
Oh,
hosts
my.
yes.
A
Oh, they're
ton.
probably longing for him to run.
Absolutely.
I don't think he can win though. I mean,
I would hope not.
but you know what? Reagan was an actor when he came.
Yes,
he had
but
been
he
governor.
didn't brag about how much money he has and how much power he has.
Plus, he'd been a governor.
He'd been a governor.
He'd been
Right.
involved in.
Well, he was the head of the film industry.
Yes,
Absolutely.
Screen Actors Guild
So,
for-
he had some good credentials.
Should be interesting. I can't wait. You know, we're getting close. I just
Well,
realized the other day.
Republicans haven't come up with anybody yet.
I saw
There's a lot of-
I saw Mitt Romney give a very good speech the other day.
Mitt Romney,
Very
I think,
good
is
speech.
the most presidential of them all. Really, I do.
I think it'll be Romney and Obama. That's my pick here, way out. But that's what I think. Charlie, you got any thoughts on that?
No, I just kind of like in the background. I keep,
Watching.
looking them over.
We'll,
yes.
we'll get here in about 6 months, and
Okay.
that'll be all you'll see on
Oh, boy.
television
Yes.
and radio. Going to go into the mailbag this week. I'm 13 years old. I have a wonderful stepdad who has taken care of me since I was born. He and I don't really ever talk, except when I ask him to go somewhere or when I want something. That's the only time I ever hug him, too. What should I do so I can be closer to him? Cindy in Delaware. They have a good relationship.
Well, that's wonderful that she has that kind of a relationship with a stepfather. You know, he may be the kind of person that doesn't know how to express himself. And he probably loves her dearly, but just doesn't show physically, but I'm sure he thinks the world of her. And she can just little by little get closer to him. Maybe just put a a small kiss on his cheek before she goes someplace. And then maybe the next time, she could start hugging him.
Charlie, it's harder for men and little girls, is it
I
not?
was going to say, I can just hear him now. Now what do you want after that kiss?
Yeah, yeah.
Or hug?
Well, just with the age of a gentleman who's 40 and it's not your biological daughter, and if somebody knows that, and I don't know, there are things going on in the world nowadays, Fritz, that there weren't.
Well, it also might be that the stepfather is sort of holding back so that the daughter won't think he's trying to replace her real father, and so maybe he's being just a little bit cautious so as not to alienate her in that way of saying, well, you're not my real dad. And
But it would be nice if they had a conversation
Oh, yeah,
about that,
okay.
wouldn't it?
It would.
Communication is so important with relationships. Communicate, talk. There's so many things that we hide and we keep inside that, if we just get them out, and I think that's what she should try to do. She should try to get a good conversation going with her
or perhaps
stepmother.
like a mutual interest.
Yeah,
whether
that
it's
mutual interest
music
would
or
be-
sports or something
That's
that
it,
she
yeah.
knows he's interested in, that
That would be a
she
good
can
idea.
kind of bone up and say,
Yeah.
what does the quarterback do?
Yes.
We got to keep the lines of communication open. Do want to let the audience know if they have a question for the mailbag, they can join me on Facebook under the name Scott Spears or email them to irmcommunication@gmail.com. We tried this earlier on in the week. We're going to try it again. This is the end of the first week of the exchange, and we're going to celebrate. We have some people coming on to the set now. I called for them earlier on in the week. I don't know where they went. Just come on into the set. Come on in.
Yes.
Yeah, we're at 3 minutes. We don't need the truck.
And Jessica has done a lot
Yes,
of nice
Jessica
things
Choina.
for us.
Floor director here this week. And by the way, this is grape juice for all the people out there in television and radio land.
Okay, so maybe we can leave it sit for a while.
We can leave it sit for a while. Now, has everybody had fun this week? That's the important question.
I have thoroughly enjoyed it. And I think I think on Monday it was a little iffy, but we got things ironed out, and I think we're going to get better and better, and we hope that a lot of people will watch us, and we hope that they give us some ideas. Maybe the people out there watching say, why don't you talk about fashion? Why don't you talk about, cultural things? And we'll do that.
We're going fishing.
Or going fishing.
We're going fishing.
Right.
Fritz, what do you think? How'd the week go for you?
Oh, I couldn't believe that the half hours went by so quickly. It seemed like, we sat down, said hello, and it's time to say goodbye.
It's great, I think, to watch something on television or hear something on the radio that is not staged, but also is... It's not news. It's not beating you in the head. It's not opinionated every moment.
Well, I don't think you could tell I was reading a teleprompter.
I don't think so. Boy, the high-tech equipment that's in here, you wouldn't believe.
Cue cards, Every word scripted.
It has been a fun
I
week.
certainly have enjoyed it.
To the Exchange will be back on Monday.
Here's looking at you.
Here's
everybody.
Charlie and Scott
Thank
and Fritz. Good grape juice.
It is good grape juice. And we'll all be back next week.
Yes.
Charlie, you'll
bring some more juice?
I'll bring some more juice. You'll bring that dog that you like with the papers with you.
Oh, yeah.
You'll bring that tea. That's why you gotta watch every day. You
That's
gotta
right.
start watching on Monday.
You never know.
Yeah, that's exactly right. You never know what's going to happen on the Exchange on whatever affiliate you're watching us on. Hope you're having a great time. Goodbye.